Welcome to Garden Delights. I'm Susan Howington, Family Consumer Science Agent with the Henry County Cooperative Extension, partnership with the University of Georgia Cooperative Extension. Today we're going to talk about kale. Love my kale, love that green color for the summer. And then also we'll hear from Frank Hancock, our Agriculture and Natural Resource Agent. He's going to talk a little bit more about kale and a little bit about gardening. So we'll see you back in just a little bit on Garden Delights. Welcome back to Garden Delights. Today we're going to be talking about kale, and I love kale. You know, when I was growing up, I don't even know if I knew what kale was, and I don't even know if anybody in my family or my grandparents even grew kale. And I'm just thinking it's a wonderful thing now that we have, because when I was growing up, I think about turnip greens and cabbage, which kale does come from the cabbage family. So, you know, you think about it, but you think about, my goodness, it's everywhere now and everybody's eating it. So let's get on the bandwagon. Loaded with wonderful vitamins and minerals. It's vitamin C, vitamin K, vitamin A, and vitamin A and C. It's loaded with it. So if you're looking for those two vitamins in your diet, kale's the way to go. It also is cholesterol free. It has a lot of good fiber in it, saturated fat free, sodium, low sodium. So it's a wonderful thing to have in your garden. If you haven't planted any, plant some kale. Now let's talk about when you're selecting that kale. Now you may have it in your garden or you may have it at the grocery store. Either way, you want to look at the kale when you're buying it and make sure the greens look really firm, good color, no yellow color, no spots, no like damage to it, because you don't want to buy that if at the grocery store, and you don't want to pick it also in your garden, because the longer it stays there, it can get tough too, and sometimes it can get a little bit of a bitter taste. So selecting it, make sure you're looking at it, get it where it's good leaves to it, and also you know to wash it once you select it and you're going to eat it. Make sure you wash it. Now it will store in your refrigerator about 3 to 5 days. I will tell you, you want to put it in a Ziploc bag to store it, to keep it airtight, to make it where it can stay about 3 to 5 days. And hopefully by then you've decided what you want to do. Now kale, the good thing about kale is you can eat it like a salad. You can saute into your different things as far as what you might want to have, just a sauteed part to your side dish. But it's so versatile that you can do so many good things to it. But if you haven't tried, one thing I want you to try is kale chips. They are so good. So if you're getting some kale, look up a good recipe on kale chips and try them. They're awesome. And so as you can see, can't mention much about kale to say it is awesome. Put it in your diet. So when we come back from Garden Delights, you're going to hear from Frank Hancock. He's going to talk to you about kale and a little bit about gardening. And then when we come back, we'll be making a wonderful salad, and we're going to make it with Parmesan cheese. So we'll see you back in just a little bit on Garden Delights.
Okay, today I think we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in our spring garden here. First of all, I think Susan's fixing something with kale today, so we've got some kale here in the garden. We've talked about kale in previous editions, and kale is a fairly easy crop to grow. It's good for you. I like kale. In fact, I ate some of this kale for supper last night. But it is kind of a biennial. It goes to seed about every second season, and this kale has been here. It's going on its second season. A lot of people have eaten kale out of this bed, and we'll probably get a little bit more kale, a few more meals out of it before it goes to seed. But once it bolts and goes to seed, then it's pretty much finished, and we'll start another batch of it in the fall to carry us on through the next couple of seasons. But we've had really good luck with our kale. And in addition to the kale, we've got our Irish potatoes planted. We planted them about the middle of March, somewhere in there, and they got hit early on with a little bit of frost, but they've recovered from it and they're doing well. We've got some onions that are planted over here behind me. I planted a few onions in here with Irish potatoes, but I planted them too close and the Irish potatoes have taken them over, so I don't know what to say about that. We'll eat the ones over here if those don't make it, but we should have a pretty good batch of Irish potatoes. I've also got some peppers, of some various types of peppers that we've planted back here in this back bed, getting them started. We talked about the bed that we prepared for the tomatoes a couple of episodes back. Now we've got our tomatoes planted. We have mulched them with newspaper and pine straw. They got hit with the frost also. I planted them early so we'd have them started by the time we did our tomato class in April. So they got hit pretty hard with the cold weather, but they're coming back. Got our cover on here to protect them a little bit from heavy rains and any hail storms that might come along, and to provide them a little bit of shade also during the day. So those are doing well. We've got some strawberries in the bed down here on the end. I've also got Irish potatoes planted in these buckets along here. You can grow Irish potatoes pretty good in a bucket. Our blackberries, we planted some blackberries on the back side over here last year, and they're blooming right now, so we'll go over and get a little close-up on the blackberries here in a few minutes. But that's kind of what's going on. We've put down some plastic on our raised beds here and covered it with pea gravel to control the weeds, and you can see that's doing a pretty good job of controlling the weeds around our raised beds. Then we're controlling it over here with some ground cover that can stop the weeds from getting around our tomatoes too much. So that's things you can do at home to help control the weeds. I'm gonna move over here in just a minute. I've added some chickens to this operation. The Henry County 4-H has got a poultry judging team, and they needed some chickens to learn how to judge chickens. So we got 8 hens, and we decided we would just keep them here for a while. So we fixed us up a little chicken pen, and they're laying eggs. We're trying to figure out who's going to take the next batch of eggs home, because I'm getting about 6 or 7 eggs a day. But we'll take care of that. So we'll move over here and look at the chickens. And I'm also want to talk a little bit about some trap crops we got going. So I'm gonna move over here towards the chickens, and we'll talk about the other things as we get over here. Okay, we moved over here by our chicken coop. We bought this chicken coop to keep these chickens in. Then we built a little platform on the bottom to raise it up off the ground so that we can keep it a little bit cleaner than if they were just on the ground all the time. And we gave them a little run on the other side. The chickens are laying. Like I said earlier, I've been getting about 6 eggs a day, which adds up if you're not eating 6 eggs a day. And so the coop has got a little nesting box up here in the top of it. And so when we open it up, we can get, in fact, I got 2 eggs in here now, and they'll lay more as the day goes on. But so we're keeping all our eggs, and we're trying not to put them all in the same basket. But that's what we're doing with chickens. Maybe in another episode we'll talk more in detail about what chickens need in the way of feed and calcium supplements, and they just love to roll in the dirt. I know the first time we built this little pen on the back side to let them on the ground, and it rained, and they looked like Rhode Island Reds instead of white Leghorns. So they love to roll, and maybe we'll see one of them out there doing that here in a few minutes. But so that's what we got going on here with chickens. I wasn't planning on talking a whole lot about chickens other than we got some. And that's about what's going on in the garden this week. We go inside now and eat. That's our primary thing that we need to do, is go see what Susan's got in the kitchen.
Welcome back to Garden Delights. We're going to be making a kale salad, and we're going to be making a salad with a little bit of Parmesan cheese in it. And it's going to be yummy. It's very simple. And I'm going to start off with a little bit of honey. And you are going to need 1 teaspoon of honey. So I'm going to go ahead and measure that out. This is the part that I'm going to whisk together, and then we're going to toss it in with the kale. So let me just kind of get this together and stick it on a paper towel, so I don't get everything sticky. But I really want to make sure I get it all out, because I love honey. And if you have anybody that has local honey, use it. It's awesome. Okay, and you're going to need 1 teaspoon of honey. You're also going to need 2 onions chopped up, so I'm going to add that to it. And then you're going to need some lemon juice. And this is 1½ tablespoons of lemon juice, so I'm going to pour that in. And you're also going to need 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt and 1/2 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. And I already have it together, so you're not going to see both of them, but they're mixed together, so I'm going to dump that in there. And you can see now a little bit of the kosher salt. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to move this over to the side. And what I'm going to do, we're going to just whisk this together. And it's going to kind of loosen up that honey with this lemon juice. And we just want to make sure. Now, if you like red pepper and you want to make it a little bit spicier, please add more to it. But we're just going to add just a little bit. This is going to season our kale. Now, a kale, this is about 12 ounces of kale, and that's what the recipe is going to ask for. But just to give you an idea about calories, about a cup of raw kale is about 30 to 33 calories. So you can see it's very low in calories also. So I'm just going to mix this up really good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my kale over here now. And I am going to put this mixture all over the kale. And then we're going to just kind of toss it. And we're going to add some more to it. But I do want to make sure I get all my good red peppers out of there. I'm going to use my spoon. I'm going to use my spoon that I had my honey and see if I can scrape just a little bit more out of there. And it smells really good, really, really good. Just that little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of honey, peppers, and onions. And if you have your onions in your garden, please use them. Don't always feel like you have to buy things. Plant them in your garden so you can use them for later. All right, so we have that all mixed up. And now I'm going to take a spoon and I'm just going to kind of move this around, and it's not going to cover everything, but we're just trying to make it moist. So I'm going to make it kind of moist and move it around because we're going to add some oil to it. Now you can let this set in your refrigerator to the next day if you want to before you serve it. And this is just going to keep the kale moist. And I will tell you this, when you're storing that kale, make sure you put it in the coldest part of that refrigerator because you want to keep it crispy and looking just like it does right here. And also chop it up because you want some bite-sized pieces where people can eat it. And you can see, I just dropped a piece. You can see that it's just got it a little moist, and that's all I want to do. Now what I'm going to do next to the kale is I am going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So I'm just going to kind of drizzle this on top. This is going to also moisten it up too. All right, and I'm going to mix this too. So I want to mix this in with the kale. And I have this in a Tupperware container today, and the reason why is because I want to be able to store it airtight in the refrigerator if I'm not going to serve it immediately after I prepare the kale. So make sure if you're not going to eat it right after you prepare it, put a container with a good lid to airtight it so it'll keep fresh. So when you are going to eat it, it's all fresh. So now my salad is looking really good. Getting a little bit of the oil mixture on the kale. And now, so the best part of it is to add all the other good flavors. So now I'm going to add some almonds, and this is about 2/3 cup of almonds. And so these almonds have been toasted. So you want to toast your almonds because you want them crunchy. So I'm going to go ahead and put the almonds into the mixture. And I'm going to toss it a little bit, get it around. So it's about 2/3 of those almonds, and they've been toasted, so they're going to be crunchy. And now we're going to add a 1/2 cup of raisins, and these are my golden raisins that I love so much, so we're going to put a little bit of those in there. So I'm going to mix those around. See if that will hold. I don't think it will, so we're going to move it to here. All right, so I'm going to toss my raisins in. And you can see it's just kind of mixing it all around. I can see a little bit of those almonds mixed in. And you know, it's so much, kale is so much better for you than just regular lettuce. So that's the reason why I say think about a salad with kale, because it can really, really add some good nutrition value to your meal when you're eating it. Okay, so last, we have everything in there. So last, we have some shaved. This is, you can use like a shaved peeler that you can peel, you know, the Parmesan cheese. So we don't want it grated, we want it kind of peeled. And so this is about 2.5 ounces of your Parmesan cheese. And what I'm going to do is sprinkle a majority of it into the salad. I'm going to save just a little bit out. And I'm going to mix it in with the salad. And it's already looking really good, even with that cheese mixture in it. Keep mixing it. Smells really good. I know those toasted almonds are going to just kind of set it off too, and all the other ingredients. And so right before you get ready to serve it, all you're going to need to do is to add a little bit of that Parmesan cheese, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on top, and you have got a really great salad, eating it with a wonderful vegetable called kale. So this is your salad, easy to make, tastes really good. Try it. We'll come back from Garden Delights, and Frank's going to come in and taste this great salad. See you back in just a little bit. Welcome back to Garden Delights. We have Frank with us, and Frank, we have a wonderful salad. It's kale, and I know you like it.
I'm ready. I like kale. Kale's my favorite.
All right, we've got a little bit of different things to that salad.
All right, we'll get some of
Parmesan cheese on it.
Different things.
So it's got a little spice, a little crunch, add a little bit of almonds. So let's give it a try.
All right.
It smells really, really good.
It looks good.
All right.
Mm-hmm. You know, we got kale out back right beside the chicken pen.
I know it.
You know we have chickens now.
I do.
This is good.
That kosher salt just makes it a little salty, but gives a little flavor to it, but it's not too salty. It's good. And the almonds?
Just spicy enough.
Mm-hmm. And a little bit of kale to our diet for the day.
And kale is good for you.
It is. It's really good. And those almonds in there kind of add to the crunch.
They do.
Really good. Check out the website for the recipe. And I know you're going to really like it, and we'll see you next time on Garden Delights.
Okay, I think I'm through talking. I'm eating.
I figured that.